Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Horsepower Obsessed. Thanks for pressing play. My name is Justin, and today we're going to talk about the C8 Corvette and the fact that GM just filed for the Grand Sport trademark and what this means for the generation going forward. Let's jump right into it. All right, guys, so as you heard there in the beginning, yes, GM has filed the trademark Grand Sport for possibly the 8th generation Corvette. Now, we're going to dive into why this could be a good thing and why this doesn't necessarily mean anything for the 8th generation Corvette in a second. But for those of you who are not new to the channel and who have seen the videos in the past, you're going to ask, well, Justin, I thought the eray was replacing the Grand Sport. And that is what is currently going on with the C8 Corvette generation. But at the same time, there's no confirmation of this from GM. So the leaks that we have seen in the early days showed that we were going to get an eray instead of a Grand Sport, and then it was going to move on to the Z06 and possibly a Zora instead of a ZR1, which kind of led me to believe that maybe GM wanted to change up the naming scheme a little bit for the brand new 8th generation Corvette. But now we're getting a little bit more confirmation showing that Grand Sport trademark has been applied again for by GM, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is for the 8th generation Corvette. It could be for the 9th generation Corvette, but it does seem like odd timing for this. Now, as usual, guys, this information comes to us from the guys over at the midenginecorvetteforum.com. It's a wealth of knowledge over there, and as usual, they are right on it whenever information like this breaks. Their article starts off by actually thanking the GM Authority website, which that's where they actually got the information from. So apparently both of those places are good for information. But it starts out by saying, thanks to GM Authority, we have learned the following, but what does it mean? Might we see a Grand Sport in the next year or 3? A wide body Stingray, or what else? Now, from the GM Authority, it goes on to say that GM has filed a trademark to the Corvette Grand Sport name. GM Authority has learned. The new trademark filing may indicate GM is now interested in offering a new Corvette Grand Sport model for the 8th generation Chevy Corvette C8, or possibly the next generation C9. The new trademark application was filed on May 26th, 2022, United States Patent and Trademark Office, and was assigned serial number 974-30541. The application was filed under Goods and Services category reserved for motor land vehicles, namely automobiles, sport utility vehicles, trucks, and vans. General Motors has obviously used the Corvette Grand Sport name throughout the history of the Chevy Corvette, but this recent application is nonetheless a bit strange. As GM Authority reported previously, General Motors was originally not going to offer a Grand Sport variant of the current 8th generation C8, instead offering the upcoming C8 eray, which of course is the hybrid with regard to the Grand Sport's positioning in the 8th gen's model lineup. Of course, it is entirely possible that the General has changed course in this respect and will offer the new C8 Grand Sport model after all. If such a model were to come about, it would likely be a coupe that is naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8 LT2 gasoline engine found behind the cabin of the C8 Stingray with a wide body exterior treatment of the C8 Z06 and eray. Such a move would certainly make sense from a supply point of view given the current supply chain environment, specifically the ongoing global shortage of microchips. A new C8 Corvette Grand Sport could be a less chip-intensive model compared to the hybrid C8 eray.
Before we continue, I just wanted to mention the sponsor of today's video, and that is going to be Hyperion. So this is a case that you can actually open up and put your key into, and it will block any RFID signals from being transmitted. What that means is it will block the connection between the key and your car, so nobody can steal the code from your key and steal your car. So with the key for the C8 out, we can go ahead and pop it right into this case here and put the top on. And while it's in here, the car will not start. So even though this is in the car, it will not start because this is blocking all of the connection from the key to the car. So if we press the start button, it's going to pop up on the dash there and tell us there's no key found. I will put a link down in the description below, guys. If you are interested in any of this kind of security for yourself, be sure to check it out. And I'll even put a code down there for you guys to save some money on one.
Another possibility is that this new trademark filing is in preparation for an upcoming Corvette Grand Sport model to be offered with the next generation Corvette C9. It is possible we would just get a Grand Sport which has the exact same setup as the base C8 Corvette, only with the wide body of the Z06. It would be a nice in-between thing while we wait for the Z06. Or maybe even right after the Z06, just to give all you guys the options of having whatever it is you may want. Another thing we have to start thinking about is how many C8 model variants variants is too many C8 model variants. If we end up getting the C8 Corvette, then the Z06, then the eray, then the Grand Sport, then the ZR1, then the Zora, it starts to kind of water down the importance or the specialness of the C8 Corvette, in my opinion. So I think throwing too many different variants at this thing is going to be a mistake on GM's behalf, and I'm sure they've already thought about this. Now, what do you guys think? I'm curious what your thoughts are, though. Leave them in the comment section down below so we can actually start a conversation on this. Would you consider the Grand Sport over the eray or over the Z06? Let me know what your thoughts are down below. But guys, that's going to do it for today's video. It was just a real quick bit of news I saw and I wanted to bring out to you guys as fast as possible. If you liked what we talked about today, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content so we can continue to do this kind of stuff. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. I'm going to have loads of C8 Corvette news like this coming you're not going to want to miss. And you can always tune in to my live videos every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we're going to talk about all of the weekly news for the Corvette, and we're also going to show some of your rides. If you guys haven't tuned in yet, please do. We have quite the community built, and I'd love to have you as part of it. But for this video, guys, we're all wrapped up. I will catch you in the next one.